To our next speakers. As I said when I introduced Reverend Jennifer yesterday, you know, these two people coming up here, I kind of like, they're the third wave of A Course in Miracles teachers, I think, to sort of surface, if I can call it that. And I'm always just really joyful to see these new teachers come along and gain a following and gain acceptance and their own little flavor of how they express things. And Bill and Lisa, they don't believe in lack. They play big. They play really, really big. And they've been incredibly wonderful supporters of what we're doing. They're going to be incredibly wonderful supporters of being in Boston. They're with the Teachers of God Foundation, which many of you know and interact with. They do all kinds of things. They've created the 40 Days to Transform Your Life, and many of you have done that program. And Lisa came out of the Endeavor Academy group of people, and I think that's amazing. I think it's wonderful. I think it's wonderful. To see that organization and that fertile ground, produced wonderful people and teachers, and that their work is still going forward. And, she partnered up with Bill about 10 years ago or so, something like that. Got married about 5 years ago, I believe, right? And it's just, they're a wonderful partnership. It's wonderful to have a nice husband and wife partnership in the Course in Miracles community. It's really nice for us in San Francisco to see that, Oh, look at that. Traditional lifestyle, I like that. Seems so alternative for us. Anyway, I really appreciate you being here. Bill, I really love all of the tech energy that you brought to us and that you continue to bring. And I'm just really overjoyed that you're with us and helping us and supporting us. And you're just such a wonderful, positive energy, both of you, every single time I talk with you. And you're my friends, and you got my back, and that's what friends are for. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, Bill and Lisa. I believe so. For you will.
This mic?
So there you go.
Yes, thank you. Well, hi everyone. Hi. Yeah, I just want to pause. Thank you, John and Mary, for adding that to my life. I just want to pause and allow the presence of love to be revealed. My name is Bill Free, as most of you know, and I'm co-founder of the Teachers of God Foundation, teachersofgod.org. And my awesome wife, Lisa Natoli, is the co-founder with me of the foundation. She's also the creator of the 40-day program that Tony mentioned. Who in here has done or heard of the 40 days? Wow. Oh, wow. Awesome. Thank you. If you haven't done the 40-day and you are interested in signing up, it's free. It always will be. And you can sign up anytime. We have a registration at the bookstore and an iPad or something, so you can register right there and start getting those messages tomorrow. They're amazing. We have hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands, of testimonies from that. And then we have Living in Purpose Mastery course. How many in here have done Living in Purpose Mastery? Thank you. Yeah. Well, that's what we're here for. We're here because we've been affected. We've been touched by the spark of awakening. We've been touched like all of you for the message that we're not these bodies. We're not this. And it's something resonated with us, and that's what drew us to the course. And we're here now to help others to see what we found to be the answer to why we're here, what we're here for. And I think all of you probably noticed on your chair there was a postcard, which is a gift for you from Lisa and I and the Teachers of God Foundation. This was a hand drawing that I had commissioned for a gift for Lisa. It was hand drawn by the guy whose name is on the back of the card, Nathan Lorenzana. He's also an amazing translator down in Guatemala. And he just, I mean, look at that Jesus picture. And just enjoy that. Because we just, actually it was Lisa's idea that she really wanted you guys to have that. So that's really more of an inspiration that Lisa had for all of you, and I'm just grateful that we were able to do that for you. And see if I can, the theme of this conference, love makes no exceptions, not even for the one you just cross. So the idea is that love is what we are. And how do we come to a place where we actually live our life not making exceptions? Is there a way to do that? And where did we hear the idea that love makes no exceptions? I mean, is it true? Is it true that love makes no exceptions? Yeah. Do you know for sure that it's true? What's your proof? Do you have proof? Well, before this next 30 minutes is over, I'm going to prove to us all that we have proof. We have proof, and it's not because I said it, it's not because we read about it. It's because we are the proof. How can you know that it's true? How can we know? It's a rhetorical question. How can you know that it's true? You experience the love that you are. It's a direct experience. Rupert Spira says that love is the experience of our shared reality. And love has a kind of even though presence, even though God is and we cease to speak, doesn't have feelings, love has a quality about it that makes us feel it. And the reason that it feels so awesome, the reason that we fall in love or we have these amazing experiences is because we touch on what we are. We touch on the presence of God within, of the God that we are. And I'm going to invite everyone in here to prepare your heart, prepare your open heart and your open mind to reach God right now, right here in this place. Who in here is prepared to reach your experience of your God self right here, right now, today, in this moment? Yes, all of us are. And we're going to do that. And I love the workbook lessons that tell us that you're fixing to reach God. You're going to have this workbook experience, and you're going to reach God from this experience. Well, the first time I read that, I went, whoa, really? We're going to reach God in a minute? Yes, we are. We're going to reach God right here in this place. And that gets me very excited. And it's so simple. The first 50 workbook lessons of A Course in Miracles, I call them the awareness lessons. The first 50 lessons are the awareness lessons. Now, when I say awareness, most people, that just goes right over their head as I'm aware of, this is a microphone, this is I have blue jeans on, I'm aware this is a building space, but what is awareness really? What is that experience of awareness? Jesus starts off, right off the bat in the workbook lessons that he brings us to the awareness of our thoughts, of our feelings, of our emotions. Notice objects, he subtly sneaks in with awareness all through. The first 50 are the most concentrated workbook lessons on teaching us to be aware. And when I invite you to notice this next question, just ask yourself the question, am I aware? Am I aware? And what is it that is aware of this experience right here? What is it this is aware of this experience? The Course says that vision is our greatest need in the world. Vision is. Vision opens our mind to the real world of being aware of what we don't see with perception. So awareness, in my mind, awareness and Christ's vision are the same. So when you just pause, that's awareness. The pause that is in the stillness. In the stillness is where you pause and you become aware. You actually transport yourself from form to formless. You transport yourself directly into the eternal now moment with awareness. And you can have this, and Jesus talks about this. We're going to talk about this in the workbook lessons. He says Christ's vision, or he talks about leading us to Christ's vision, but he talks about looking within. That's awareness. When we sink down and inward, we're just coming into just being pausing and being in the presence of what we are as awareness. I love the CE edition of A Course in Miracles. This new publication, the Purple Book, it's transformational for me. I love FIP. Thank you, Bob and Tamara, for your leadership in that organization. I love the Blue Book, too. I'm going to talk about the Purple Book, the CE edition today, because I'm going to talk about the cameos in it. In Cameo 1, there's 33 cameos in this new edition. And Cameo 1, called This Is Not a Selfish Gift, there is a reference in it where Bill, if you'll remember, Bill was wanting his own guidance. When Helen was getting all this guidance, Bill wanted his own guidance, and he asked Helen to talk to Jesus about it. And Jesus said to tell Bill that he keeps hanging up too fast. He hangs up the phone. Yeah, and so Bill was looking for some instructions from Jesus on how he can hear like Helen does. And Jesus told Helen to tell Bill to sit quiet and stay quiet longer, and then just say, "Here I am, Lord. Here I am, Lord." And I heard that a couple of years ago from reading it in the Urtext. And then I found in this reference in the cameos where Jesus refers, he actually cleans up that statement in the Urtext, and on page 181, it's chapter 4 of the CE edition, Jesus kind of adds to that with a paragraph. He says, "When I told you to concentrate on the phrase, 'Here I am, Lord,' I did not mean in this world by here. I wanted you to think of yourself as a distinct consciousness capable of direct communication with the creator of that consciousness. You must begin to think of yourself as a very powerful receiving and sending channel." I mean, a very powerful receiving and sending channel. Can you say amen on a Saturday to that? I mean, that's what we have. We have that power of being in direct communication with Source as a receiving and sending channel. That's what I'm talking about. How do we do that? The body doesn't have to die, and we don't have to go to an ashram or a guru. We are that. We are love. We are love, and that is the love connection. And we have to do what he told Bill to do. We have to be still long enough to, and it doesn't mean that we have to still the mind. When you bring yourself into the experience of awareness, what everyone in here and every living thing on the planet does all the time. A mosquito is aware. Your animals are aware. Every living thing is aware. I wouldn't be surprised if flowers and plants weren't aware, and even rocks. But awareness is an ability. It's not just a nothing. It's an important ability that brings us into that direct communication with Source. And it's always available. It's available when you're talking to this person and something else is going on. Awareness is always in the background. It's never not there. This is the self. This is the presence of God that you are, that's always here. It's always present. And it's always available. And it's the thing that informs the mind on what to do. This is the super consciousness of the super conscious intelligence that we are all looking for. This is intuition. This is where all of those gifts come from. In another Cameo 27, Jesus gives reference to, and this is why I love the CE edition, I love the cameos so much, because the cameos, Robert Perry's done an amazing job with the CE edition of taking Helen's personal notes and putting them back into the exact order that they were delivered, and in the sequence that they were delivered, the chronological order, and then he references, he uses, and then thank you Foundation for Inner Peace for collaborating, for helping him to publish this book, because he couldn't have published this book without your help. I don't know where Tamara and Bob Rosenthal are, but he couldn't have done this without you guys, and I know that. Thank you for helping me. Because, you know, he uses Absence from Felicity as references, he uses the foundation, he uses the manual for teachers, he uses a lot of content that they didn't have to let him use. And so that's really, you know, that's healing. And that's people that are working together to be in service for one purpose. So thank you for that. But the cameo I'm talking about, 27, talks about when Helen lived, when this text came, and this text is in the FIP, it's in the Earth text, and it's in the CE edition, I need do nothing. Well, a lot of people heard that years ago and thought, well, I need do nothing. There is no world. None of this is real. This is an illusion. I need do nothing. Go sit in a cave or quit your job and ride a bicycle or sleep under a bench or something. But that's not what I need do nothing meant. And when you put it in the order of the event in Helen's life where this happened, she and her husband Louis lived in a 16-story building, or they lived on the 16th floor of their high-rise in New York City, and there was going to be an elevator strike, an elevator union strike, and Helen was very afraid that the elevator union was going to strike and shut her elevator down, and she and Louis were not going to be able to get to the 16th floor without having cardiac arrest. So she moved out of her apartment to the hotel down the street for a week. This I need do nothing came that week. And what Jesus says in this section, I need do nothing, I'm just going to paraphrase it. He basically says that, and he uses a storm as a reference for this this example that he gave to Helen. And he said, Helen, when your life activity is raging like a storm, he calls it a storm, and he says the thing that you need to do is stay in the quiet place of the storm. In this cameo and in this text, he talks about the quiet place. I think it's in the FIP, it might be in chapter 18, and in the CE edition it's in chapter 22. I need do nothing. And what he was telling Helen was, when your life is seems to be in turmoil, and this was a really big deal for Helen, that the elevator strike was going to take place, and she was going to be on the 16th floor, and one of them was going to have a heart attack. This was a big deal for her, but Jesus used this as an example for all of us. He said that when you're in this experience of life, you have the ability to be in the quiet place while the activity of your life is happening. While you've got a bill that you can't pay, while you have a relationship issue, while there's a health situation that you don't know how to deal with. How do you deal with that? Well, I'm going to say thanks again for John and Mary. Pause and, put your hand on your heart. Just get into that quiet place of awareness. Awareness. Just be, what I do in this way, I'm aware of any kind of thought, feeling, emotion, experience. I'm very aware of the thoughts. I'm aware of as we do this course, we get very sensitive to every little tiny thing. And it's because we're getting closer and closer to our natural state of awareness. The awareness of love's presence is what we are. And that's why love makes no exceptions. When we get closer and closer to the center of the being, of the self that we are, this is where it really gets good, you guys, because when we practice awareness, we're practicing Christ's vision. We're practicing our natural state of being. Just being aware. And as you're being aware of this person up here called Bill that's doing this presentation, while you're doing that, there's an awareness that is aware of it. And that is the presence of the being that you are. We can actually go into this understanding right now, and we can have this experience of this direct communication that Jesus talks about with Creator, with our source. And I'm gonna ask everyone to just prepare yourself. You don't have to change your body, you don't have to sit up straight or a certain way, but just prepare your heart and your mind. Any activity that's going on, any thoughts that you have about what's next, what's for dinner, I don't feel hot, this and that. Just allow them to just be still for a moment and have this sacred moment for yourself. Have this experience of transcending form and coming into the experience of being. Love is incapable of exceptions. And I'm just going to invite all of us to close your eyes if you feel comfortable. And we're going to have a quiet time of meditation, just going into this experience of presence, of the consciousness of love that we are. Quiet place. What is aware of this experience right now? What is aware of? This awareness is our connection with Source. Right now. We don't wait for heaven. Heaven is right now in this moment. And as you're resting and abiding in this experience of presence, of being, is there a gender that's aware? Is it gender? Take a deep breath and just allow yourself to breathe in the love of God that you are. Nice deep breath in. And as you're noticing from this place of being, the radiance of God that you are, pure light, does this awareness have an age? Is there a beginning or an ending of this awareness, this quiet presence? This is love. Right here is the proof of love. You are experiencing the love that you are. This is love. Experiencing itself. And this love encompasses all things. This is our holiness. Your holiness encompasses the entire earth and shines out as a radiant light out into all of the galaxies and the universes of universes, because there's no end to this experience and this presence of love that we are. You are pure light, child of God. Blazing, radiant light. This is our inheritance. Your pure presence. Your love. Love is what we are. And in this place, we are in the center. We're right there in the center of in the quiet place while life goes on. In some situations, it's raging. In other situations, it's minor annoyances. But we are able to stay right here in this present awareness as the Christ. As the Christ presence. And we can be here when the activity activities of life are still happening, we have this place right here that's always right here. It's never not right here. This is our respite. This is our resting place. This is our natural state of being. And though the storms of life may go crazy and even blow us off balance a little bit, we can come right back into this light. And that activity will still occur. Only now it's being informed on how to manage it. We're being informed on where to go, what to say, because we're staying in the center of this radiant light that we are. Come here often, my beloved friends. Come here often. Give yourself a rest. Rest in God. Rest in the love of God that you are. And so it is. Thank you all.